The Jamaica Labour Party currently enjoys a 9 percentage point lead over the People's National Party in the latest RJ Green or John Anderson poll on voting intention. The poll was done island-wide from August 19 to September 3 and has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Debbie Wright has details.
Last year, September, the Jamaica Labour Party swept to power, taking 49 of the 63 seats on offer in the House of Representatives, leaving the PNP with just 14. A year later, pollster Don Anderson asked 1,003 Jamaicans which party they would vote for if a general election were called today. Mr. Anderson says 26% said they would vote for the JLP, compared to 17% who would vote for the PNP.
The JLP has a 9 percentage point lead over the People's National Party at this time, and that's a substantial lead in any election. A 9 percentage point, I'm not going to try to translate that into seats or any such thing, but a 9% gap really is a decent gap for one party over the other.
However, Mr. Anderson says most respondents either weren't sure which party they would vote for or said they would not vote.
We have 57% of the people that we interviewed were either not going to vote or who have not yet made up their mind. Again, pretty understandable. How's that broken down? 31% who say we are not going to vote. So it could be, if this holds true, then the apathy factor would probably have increased. And then there's another 26% who said, well, we're not sure. And we can understand that because they really aren't thinking of an election right now.
The JLP has lost some support among the electorate since its resounding win over the PNP a year ago. However, Mr. Anderson says the PNP has not benefited from that decline, as its support has also slipped. He says this is based on the trends from the last two polls done in July and August 2020.
When we did that poll in August last year, one immediately prior to this one, we found that 37% of the people who we interviewed said they would vote for the Jamaica Labour Party, as against 25% who said they would vote for the People's National Party. So the gap at that point was 12 percentage points leading into the election. When we did that survey the month prior, it said 36% of the people that we interviewed said they would vote for the Jamaica Labour Party, as against 20% who said they would vote for the People's National Party. So in July, the gap was 16 percentage points. In August, just prior to the election, the gap was 12 percentage points. And now that we do the survey, the gap is 9 percentage points.
Pollster Don Anderson. Debbie Wright reporting for Radio Jamaica News.
In the meantime, the PNP continues to garner most of its support from traditional voters, while most of those who said they would vote for the governing JLP said they thought that party was better at managing the country. Mr. Anderson says tradition was further down the list of reasons given for supporting the JLP.
42% of all persons who say they're going to vote for the Jamaica Labour Party, which represents 26% of the sample, say that the Jamaica Labour Party will be able to manage the country better. 39% said they will do a good job, and you could put those two together. 31% believe that they're the best party at this point in time. 26% say they're traditional supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party. 24% say that the country is progressing well under them. And 20% say they have the country's interest at heart and that they have better leaders. So these are the top reasons why people said they would vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Mr. Anderson says 47% of those who said they would vote PNP supported the party because of tradition. He says 28% said they want to see what the new leader can do, 24% that it is the best party, 21% that it can manage the country better, and 13% that the PNP has the country's best interest at heart. Mr. Anderson also notes that it appears the PNP is losing ground among its traditional voters.
We did a little analysis of the demographics of who said they would vote for who. And one of the key things that we found out was that whereas the People's National Party, regardless of the numbers that they normally have, they tend to appeal more so to the older voters than to the younger voters. But a very interesting piece of information has come out of this analysis by demographics, and that is that when you look across the demographics, there is not this high for the People's National Party amongst the older voters, as is normally the case, almost time immemorial. And it says to me that perhaps in that bunching of that 57% who either don't know who they're going to vote for, who are not going to vote, are probably a significant percentage of PNP supporters.
pollster Don Anderson. And Information Minister Favour Williams says the Andrew Holness administration is analysing the decline in its performance rating in the latest Darja Gleaner Don Anderson poll. The polls show that fewer than 4 out of 10 Jamaicans believe the government is doing a good job.
Polls are conducted from time to time that give any government that's in power a sense of where they are. And it's incumbent upon the government to take these polls seriously, to find out what are the underlying issues that would cause the changes, especially if they're negative changes. And so, as you can imagine, the government does take these polls seriously and will be, I'm sure, in terms of analyzing the various questions that were asked and the responses that were given.
Information Minister Favour Williams.